Well, hey there, welcome to Hiker Homily number 100. That's pretty wild. Yeah, I've been doing this for a couple of years now, just kind of having fun with it. And I hope those of you who are kind of sticking around, my channel is still, by YouTube standards, small. But I sure have been having fun with it. I hope the folks who are sticking around are enjoying some of my topics. I know it's not going to be 100%. You're not going to like everything I talk about or be interested in everything I talk about, but hey, I've been having fun. Hopefully some of you, or most of you, have had fun at least once or twice. I know I have an odd sense of humor, but there it is. Hiker Homily number 100, and I wanted to kind of use it as kind of an update to what the heck's going on around here. Unfortunately, with our friend, the pandemic, it's kind of shut down the hiking season, you know what I mean? For a while, things were still going good, even when the state said, okay, time to shut down. They left a lot of parks open and stuff. But unfortunately, that was an excuse for all the folks who were working from home or suddenly had more time on their hands for various reasons. All of a sudden, droves of people were showing up at parks, which of course isn't a good idea if you have a virus going around that gets spread by that kind of close proximity contact. So that didn't last long. The parks got closed. And then they completely sheltered in place with an order that said you got to stay local. Now, I'm not going to get into the debate. There's a lot of people who, I don't care. They said I can hike, I'm going to hike. And they took that to mean drive for an hour and a half away from their frickin' house and go hike. Yeah, I was one of the ones who decided, yeah, shelter in place means just that. And that's the thing that makes me not understand the folks who just went crazy. Now, granted, I can only talk about my own situation and where I live. Shelter in place didn't mean I had to lock myself in my house and never go out my door. Besides, shopping runs and things like that, I have places where I can walk out my door and go for a walk. I understand there are some people who don't have that, but I don't see that as excusing you taking an hour and a half drive to some park somewhere to pile up on the trail. And then of course we had the whole fallacy about how this is safe and they show a picture of a supermarket, but this isn't, and they show a picture of an empty trail. Yeah, it's not that simple, and logic should tell you it's not that way. But anyway, getting off the rant, back on the topic, I have been getting out and doing some walking, little urban hikes. I got levee trails near my house and stuff that I can get on. We've got, where I'm at now, the Lodi Wilderness area, which is nice. I mean, we're not talking about any kind of great big long day hikes with massive mountains to view, but it's a chance to get out into the fresh air, enjoy. And so that's what I've been doing. So that's what's been going on with that. Yes, I am a shelter in placer. Yes, I think that means stay in your local area. And I've been dealing with that way. So, what about what's coming up? Let's talk a little bit about some hopeful plans I have. So, for those of you who have been following the channel, you know that I was supposed to get back out on the old PCT at the end of April. They never revoked my permit. My permit did activate. However, I was one of the many who decided to take the PCTA's advice of don't go out there, because I was going to do an unsupported hike, which means I was going to need to resupply in little towns and things like that. I didn't have a team that could bring me food at trailheads and stuff where I avoided contact with others and things. And so I decided it was best that I postpone my hike. So I won't be doing the big sections that I wanted to. I think what I'm hoping for really hoping to get to is sometime mid to late July, maybe into early August. We'll see how things go, because I know my wife and kids will be starting work and school again around that time. But hopefully mid to late July, I'll be getting up into the Sierra range near where I live, where there are several sections of the PCT that I can do unsupported. I'll just do like a couple of days here, 20-30 miles here, 20-30 miles there for over a couple of days, and I can avoid issues with resupply and things like that. So I'm hoping to get that done. I'm also hoping that as things start to open up more, there'll be some more parks opened up, and I'll be able to get out and do some hiking there. So some of the other things I want to hopefully do, I'd like to have one other backpack trip that's not PCT related, but we'll see. I would love to do the Little Yosemite hike or the Fremont Peak hike that I had planned last year and never got the chance to do. This is how it is. It's like, oh, I'll try and do it this other season, and then this other season has been completely racked by this whole pandemic issue, unfortunately. So looking to try and get that done sometime. The only problem is right now this is a horrible time to try and do that hike, because it is so hot and there's no real coverage through most of that trail. So there's that issue. So hopefully a little later in the summer, maybe even pushing September, I'll try and get out if things are opened up more and do Fremont Peak. I'd like to do Pleasanton Ridge, stuff like that. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping to kind of get back out there, and barring that, I'm going to keep putting out content. I have a lot of content that I can put on the channel that doesn't necessarily require me to go hiking. A lot of hiker homilies. I don't have to be out hiking like I am now to do it, but I do want to get more hike reports up on the channel. I know there's probably a fair amount of people who enjoy watching those more than just somebody talk about backpacking. And hopefully there's some subjects that you all like to hear about and maybe even comment on and things like that. And then I know there's other subjects maybe just that interest you. It's not your kind of hiking. That's fine. But the other thing is I like to do fair and honest gear reviews, and I can't do that if I'm not out there using the gear, right? Because that's just the way I do reviews. I don't review stuff that I haven't used or only used once briefly for a 2-mile trek. I need to get out there and actually use this stuff for me to review it, and I haven't been able to do that this year. So there's several gear reviews I want to get out there. There's a couple items I can do, like my tent and stuff, that I've used plenty. But there's a few other items where it's like, I own it now and I've only used it one time. That's not enough for a review as far as I'm concerned. I got to get out there more with it. So there's a lot of that going on. Other than that, I can't complain. I'll be the first one to tell you that I'm in a good situation as far as this kind of thing goes. I don't mind being with my family. I had no trouble at all being quarantined, quote unquote, shelter in place with my family. It didn't bug me at all. We're on day 100 and something now, and as you can see, I'm not locked in my house with them. We get out and we do things safely when we get out, according to what's the advice of the health thing. Because I've always been the type of person that science and health advice I take from scientists and health people, not from politicians. A political party, no matter what the party's name is, and no matter what side, quote unquote, it leans, has never told me one way or the other how to do things. Their agenda isn't a big thing for me. If it's a medical issue, like say a pandemic, I'm going to take the medical advice from experts, not the advice from politicians on either side of the party. So that's just my little mini rant on that too, because there's a lot of people that have turned certain things into a political issue that aren't a political issue. Politics has nothing to do with how a virus operates, how it spreads. That's not a political thing, but it's become one in the United States, and that's kind of unfortunate because it's literally costing people's lives. It's too bad. So really, that's my take, and it's one of those things I feel strongly about. If I lose subscribers because of my views, hey, I've never been the kind of person to whore myself out. I'm not going to try and keep subscribers or gain subscribers by pushing a popular agenda or a this and that agenda. I'm going to be me, and I'm going to be honest about it. And if people want to subscribe and watch, awesome. If that's not their cup of tea because they don't like that I'm not on their side, quote unquote. Oh well, that's them, not me. So there it is. But you know what? Those of you who do stick around, I do appreciate it. We're going to keep trying to have some fun on this channel and be informative. And that's basically my Hiker Homily number 100. We're just going to keep pushing forward and do what we can when we can. And that's the plan. And that's about it. If you have any comments, hopefully respectful ones, one way or the other, as usual, you can get a hold of me at hikingforhealthca@gmail.com. You can also leave comments below. If I post this on Facebook, you can leave comments there. You can leave comments on the post on Instagram when I announce that this is posted. All that kind of good stuff. All at hikingforhealthca. And that's about it. I'm going to keep walking around the old Lodi nature area and have a good time getting a little exercise, getting a couple of miles in. And I appreciate those of you who do watch, and I'll catch you next time.